How does a man go from being the most hated player in hockey history to a beloved icon whose sudden passing has left the entire sports world in absolute tears? On Thursday, the National Hockey League Alumni Association dropped a devastating announcement that completely shattered the sports community. Legendary four-time Stanley Cup champion and one of the most polarizing figures to ever lace up skates, Claude Lemieux, has suddenly passed away at the age of 60. But here is the haunting twist that has left fans completely paralyzed with shock. Just 3 nights ago, Claude Lemieux was standing right in the center of the ice at the packed Bell Center in Montreal, holding the historic ceremonial torch before Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. He looked full of life, smiling and waving to thousands of roaring fans who gave him a massive standing ovation. No one in that building knew they were witnessing his final public goodbye. How did a healthy hockey titan pass away in Florida just 72 hours after holding that torch? What dark mysteries and brutal rivalries defined his multi-million-dollar career? Watch this video until the very end, because the incredible story of a man who was both loved and loathed, his final text message to an NHL star, and his ultimate legacy will change the way you look at hockey forever. To understand the intense suspense and emotion surrounding the death of Claude Lemieux, you have to look closely at the double life he lived. On the ice, he was a ruthless assassin nicknamed Pepe, or the ultimate pest. He was a master of psychological warfare and physical violence, always playing right on the bleeding edge of the rules. Opponents absolutely despised him, and opposing fans would boo him until their throats were raw. But off the ice, his family and close friends knew a completely different human being. His wife, Deborah Lemieux, once revealed in a deeply personal interview that when she first met him at a Manhattan restaurant, she was terrified, thinking he looked like a dangerous mobster. But she quickly realized that behind that terrifying mask was a gentle, easygoing giant, whom she affectionately described as a big old bear. Claude Lemieux was born in Buckingham, Quebec, and broke into the NHL after being drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in 1983. He didn't just play hockey, he commanded the postseason. In 1986, as a young rookie, he scored a team-leading 10 goals in the playoffs, forcing the Canadiens to victory and hoisting his very first Stanley Cup. He was a rare breed of athlete who became entirely invisible during the regular season, only to transform into an unstoppable machine when the pressure was high. He eventually became one of only 11 players in the entire history of the NHL to win the Stanley Cup with 3 completely different franchises: Montreal, the New Jersey Devils, and the Colorado Avalanche. In 1995, Lemieux reached the absolute peak of his legendary status. He scored 13 brutal postseason goals, single-handedly carrying the New Jersey Devils to their first-ever franchise championship, and winning the prestigious Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff most valuable player. But just 1 year later, while playing for the Colorado Avalanche, Lemieux cemented his name in sports infamy. During a blood-soaked playoff game against the Detroit Red Wings, Lemieux launched a controversial, vicious hit from behind, driving Detroit forward Chris Draper face-first into the boards. Draper suffered horrific facial fractures that required extensive reconstructive surgery. That single hit ignited the legendary Avalanche Red Wings feud, widely considered the most violent, hateful, and intense rivalry in modern sports history. Lemieux became public enemy number 1, the most feared and hated man in the league. Yet, when his 21-season playing career ended, Lemieux didn't run away from the sport. He became a highly successful NHL player agent, managing the multi-million-dollar contracts of modern superstars like Timo Meier, Moritz Seider, and Carolina Hurricanes goaltender Frederik Andersen. In fact, hours before his final public appearance on Monday night, Lemieux personally reached out to Frederik Andersen, sending him a proud text message to share the news that he had been chosen to carry the torch for Montreal. Andersen later revealed to the media that Lemieux was like family to him, a mentor who guided him through the heaviest pressures of professional sports. Following that emotional night in Montreal, Lemieux traveled down to Florida, where he unexpectedly passed away on Thursday. As of this exact moment, authorities and the NHL Alumni Association have kept the official cause of death completely under wraps, adding a heavy layer of mystery to his sudden departure. He leaves behind his wife Deborah and their 4 children, including his son Brendan Lemieux, who bravely followed his father's footsteps into the NHL. Claude Lemieux proved to the world that you don't have to be perfect to be a champion. You just have to be willing to bleed, fight, and give everything you have when the stakes are at their highest. What is your absolute favorite or most shocking Claude Lemieux memory? Was he a true hockey hero or the ultimate villain? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to keep up with breaking sports news, deep dive athlete biographies, and urgent NHL updates, please make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video. Stay alert, keep your eyes open, and we will see you in the next one.